Hello, my name is Jerry Lanser. You know, for the last 40 years, nearly every one of them the government has had to borrow to pay its bills. It's been a growing problem that's nearing a crisis stage, thanks to the massive spending and borrowing of the last few years. It's a crisis that will affect not only our economy, but our way of life. I have 5 grandchildren. Their share of the national debt already is over $250,000. It became pretty clear to me during the recent debt ceiling debates that our leaders are either unwilling or unable to tackle this problem head on. The compromise proved me out. Mr. Obama received another $2,500 billion that he could borrow. My grandchildren got another $40,000 in debt. To me, that's totally unacceptable, and that is the reason I decided that I would be a candidate for the office of President of the United States. One of the other things that became pretty clear during that debt ceiling debate was that we're never going to fix this problem as long as we rely on a broken income tax system for our revenues. The income tax has some uses. If you want to do some class warfare or wealth redistribution, pretty great. Think make the rich pay their fair share. If you need to reward some friends, you can always find a loophole. If you got some enemies that need punishment, call on the IRS. Talking about tax cuts is meaningless to the nearly 50% of Americans who are no longer paying any income tax. So what I propose is pretty simple. Now don't mistake simple for easy. It's going to require some serious cuts in the budgets, every budget, and it's going to require sacrifice from every citizen. I call it the blue-collar solution. Pretty simple, straightforward. A constitutional amendment that over 3 years would replace the income tax with the national sales tax. That sales tax would tax all goods and services except food, rent, and exports. I excluded exports because we want to keep our businesses competitive in the world marketplace. I excluded food and rent because they are the necessities of life. You know, every person who is fortunate enough to live in this great country also has a responsibility to help pay the bills. A sales tax does that. In addition, if you're looking for a fair tax, one where those with more will pay more, those who want with less will pay less, those who are living on food and rent will be excluded from paying taxes till their situation improves. The sales tax does that. 45 of the 50 states already have a sales tax in place, so we know it works. And it'll be reasonably easy to implement. The big bonus is that we get rid of the IRS. Now, what I would do is combine that sales tax with a balanced budget amendment. It's also simple and straightforward. It says simply, the government can only spend what it takes in. And they would have to prioritize all their spending such that if they didn't take in enough revenue, the lower priority items would either only be partially funded or not funded at all. Our businesses are in a funk. They're not looking for more government stimulus. What our businesses are looking for is the assurance that our government can get its fiscal house in order. My plan will do that. When businesses can be able to plan 5, 10 years in the future, or at least with some degree of certainty, they're going to take off. We can help them along. We can reduce regulations. We can ensure that they have a plentiful supply of reasonably priced energy. It's not only our citizens and our businesses that are looking for leadership. Businesses and governments around the world are looking to us, and that's for one reason. Because we're America. We are the greatest nation on earth. They know that. We know that. They're looking for us to take the leadership. And if I'm elected, I will do everything in my power to ensure that America remains the greatest nation on earth. You know, our greatest leaders were regular people, ordinary people who rose to do extraordinary things. You can find a lot more details about my plans on this website, and I encourage you to do so. You're going to have some of your friends that are going to tell you that casting a vote for me is wasting it. I guess my response to that would be that if you don't vote for me, you're wasting it. We have a great field of Republican candidates this year. but every one of them is still trying to fix the Edsel. I seem to be the only candidate that has identified the problem and offered a pretty straightforward solution to it. It's not going to be easy to do. I need your help. I need you to pass this information on to every one of your friends and acquaintances. And if you can offer us some financial help, that would be greatly appreciated, because this is not an inexpensive undertaking. This is my advertising, a simple business card. On the back of it is a report card. I want you to hold me accountable. That's pretty unusual for a politician. I want you to check off the things we'd get done, and I want you to hold us responsible for the things that still need doing. We'll never be able to outspend our competition, but that doesn't mean we can't outvote them. I want to thank you. May God bless you, and God bless America.